Hi, it's Tom here from Wise Bartender, and we are going to be talking about Fungtn beers very shortly. We are waiting for Zoe from Fungtn to join us, and she can talk us through these beers that she's got. So we'll just wait for her to join us, then join in the live, and learn all about. Oh, here we go. Hopefully, Zoe will join us very shortly. We can learn all about these great beers.
Hi,
Hiya, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Very good. So, yeah, we get to talk about beer tonight then.
Amazing. Excited.
So,
So I've got the cans at the ready.
yeah,
Snap.
I am one short, but it's a good problem. We've sold out because the beers went into the alcohol-free beer club box. So I'm short of the
Amazing.
Limeanes Ipa tonight, but lots of people who watch this will hopefully have one in front of them. So, I've
Perfect.
lost out when everyone else has gained. So, but
Exactly.
we'll have them
Exactly.
back in stock in a couple of days. But did you want to kind of introduce yourself, Zoe, and tell us a bit
Yeah.
about yourself and the brand and
Yeah.
everything?
So I'm Zoe, founder of Fungtn, probably the most unique beer that you've heard of late. We brew alcohol-free beer with functional mushrooms. So people go, what? Like, no, it won't get you high, and no, your beer's not going to taste like mushrooms. These aren't the normal mushrooms that you get on a pizza or in a risotto. These are kind of a superfood class of mushrooms called functional mushrooms, which contain above normal bioavailable compounds of some really interesting things that have been shown to help support immunity, support cognitive health. They've been used in functional medicine and wellness for thousands of years. And now science is really catching up to kind of show why they have been used and why they've been revered for so many years. So lots of interesting research going on in the space. In the meantime, they make a cracking beer. Their flavor profiles are really similar to hops. They're nutty, earthy, bittersweet. Definitely don't have any mushroom flavor profiles. And being a mushroom user of these functional mushrooms, like in my coffee and my drinks for years, when I became an avid alcohol-free beer drinker and loved alcohol-free beer, it seemed like a really natural combination to pair the mushrooms with hops. And we're pretty happy and think we've created a pretty good combination.
I think, like you said, that the pairing of the earthiness and it's something that people look for in beers at times. So there's a really sort of natural pairing there. So
Yeah,
I've just poured out the lager there. Um,
nice.
so I'm going to say this wrong now, aren't I? Is it Chaga?
Chaga.
Oh,
I
okay.
like the idea of a chaga lager. It makes me want to sing that old tune from the 90s. It's like chaga lager. Yeah, chaga's an interesting one. Again, there's no one who's commercially brewing an alcohol-free beer with functional mushrooms, so we're the first. There've been a few rogue craft beers, especially in North America, that have kind of done specials with mushrooms, and chaga's been quite a popular one to put into stouts. But I wanted to move away from that. I've got a little stout special coming up shortly,
Ooh.
which is going to be happening this year. And I had another mushroom ring for stout. But chaga is quite an earthy, bitter mushroom. It's actually a polypore, which means it grows on the outside of living trees. It kind of looks a bit like a big lump of coal. So it's not your normal mushroom and there's a nice little top on it. It's quite unusual looking. It grows in Siberia, Northern Europe and Northern Canada. And it's full of antioxidants, immune supporting elements, and fighting free radicals. So it kind of hunts down nasties in the body and helps your body deal with them. So it's been used by ancient people for thousands of years in times of winter to help immunity and such. And I just found it had a really interesting flavor profile. So malty, a bit earthy, goes really well with the hops we've
Yeah.
used, EKG. and it almost gives a stouty flavour to it, but it's still got the lightness and the crispness of a lager. So we wanted to make something a little bit different. We knew that this might be the Marmite of the trio, but so far so good. We've had some really positive feedback.
So is it the colour of the mushroom? Is it that gives it that kind of darkness then?
Yeah. So chaga mushroom is a deep dark, like almost like black mushroom. It has a kind of orangey inside when you cut it open and dry it, but when you dry it in an extract, it's really dark. So yeah, that's definitely given it quite a unique look. So you do get dark European style lagers. So we kind of wanted to honour that side rather than go down the stout route.
It's funny, like, we've had a number of beers come in the last couple of weeks where the colours aren't what you traditionally associate with that kind of style of beer. You kind of initially see that and you think, oh, that's a bit strange. I actually think, why did that kind of start off with? Why can't it change? So I think it's great to mix things up, and that's what the alcohol-free category gives us license to do, is to rip up the rule book a little bit, I think.
Yeah, AF is really breaking up the rule book. It's like, ask a craft beer aficionado a few years ago, what a beer was, having no alcohol in it is like sacrilege, why, it's not a beer. But actually, out of all the AF products, beer is still made as closely to the real thing as possible. We go through exactly the same process, we use exactly the same ingredients. We naturally cap our fermentation rather than de-alcoholizing it. I feel it's a bit more of a natural process. You still get that great flavor from the yeast coming out when the fermentation starts to happen, but we cap it off at just under 0.5. So, you're not getting that alcoholic quality, but you're getting that slight flavor difference that that the fermentation gives it. There's quite a lot of hop waters coming out and hop flavored beverages that don't ferment, and they don't quite hit the mark. They're not a beer. A beer is essentially a brewed beverage. So by letting it ferment a little bit, I think you're giving it that interesting flavor profile. But it's AF, so we can break the rules and we can kind of mash it up a little bit, because people's expectations are already one removed from what they traditionally expect from this beer or this product. So yeah, it's an interesting space for doing some wild and wacky things.
And you're right, there is kind of a little hint of stoutiness, isn't it? It almost goes that way, the flavour, but it pulls you back to that like lagery finish. So it is really interesting. I think if you hadn't said that, I probably would have pinpointed it completely, but yeah.
It's that malty, chocolatey kind of earthiness to it, almost maybe coffee. Really exciting actually to see Guinness, not AF yet, but Guinness has brought out a cold brew coffee with Guinness I've seen launching in the States. So I'm quite looking forward for when they do their AF version of that. But yeah, it gives that kind of richness and maltiness that I think gives definitely a unique flavour. It's great with sweet things, really nice with chocolate, or if you're having something like at the end of your meal or something sweet, it goes really well with that.
Okay, no, it's really enjoyable, and I kind of like a bit of maltiness and bitterness in my drinks anyway. So having it in a lager is unique and really enjoyable. So, and obviously you've got, like you said, the benefits of the mushroom and all the qualities that come with that as well. So it's kind of like a double whammy with that one.
Yeah. Double dose.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, should we try the Citra?
Yeah, I actually opened my Citra before because this is probably, I'm torn. They're like my babies, you can't have favourite children, but I'm kind of torn. Citra I'm really liking at the moment. Yeah. Citra I'm liking at the moment. I say when we've had warm weather, because now it's not so great, but yeah, Citra's a really great sessionable beer. We're using Idaho 7. Those hops, that Citra hop profile goes really, really well with reishi. Now, reishi is kind of revered as the queen of mushrooms. It's one of the most well-known mushrooms in Chinese medicine. It was kind of like the mushroom that was only allowed for the royal families to use back in the day. If a lowly peasant was caught using the mushroom, they'd probably get thrown into jail. And it was that revered, it's on lots of Chinese ancient art. It was known as the mushroom of immortality. So it's full of antioxidants and full of things that help your skin, anti-aging. We're seeing a lot of face products coming to market now actually that are using reishi compounds because they're so beneficial to anti-aging and skin elasticity. So they're really interesting. On their own, I think really, really bitter. When you have the mushroom on its own, so when you brew it down to a coffee or a tea, it's the one mushroom that kind of is probably the least palatable. It's actually a natural antihistamine as well, so I have had historically bad hay fever. In the last 3 years, I've been taking, I have reishi and a mixture of mushrooms in my coffee pretty much every morning. And I've noticed this last year, my hay fever, and I live in a really rural area now, my hay fever has been hardly anything. You know, normally by now my eyes are itching, my nose is streaming, and it's used across the world as a natural kind of anti-allergen. So it's a fascinating mushroom, but it goes really well with the almost oily juiciness that you get from this type of citra hop, and it cuts through that with that light bit of bitterness, but it's not too overpowering. Works really well with food and with spicy food as well.
I have to say it's a really smooth finish. You're right, they're kind of that a little bit of upfront bitterness, but not for that long. But you really get the citrus, and I think you're right in describing it almost like a citrusy oil type flavour, and then you get that smooth finish. And it's definitely, you know, a sessionable beer, isn't it? You could have a few of these. We just need the weather to sort itself out, and that would really help out with drinking a few.
I know, it'll get there. We're ready for it.
Yeah. Yeah, and a good colour on this one. So you haven't broken the colour boundaries on this one.
No, yeah, stayed quite true to that. And we didn't want to go too citra and fruity, but I think we've got that nice grapefruit kind of edge, citrus fruit rounded on it. In fact, I had one customer that said, I bought your beer and I really liked it, but I didn't like the fact that you put, you know, flavourings in it, and she thought we'd put like a grapefruit flavour into the beer. But no, this all comes from the amazing oils that you get out of these hops. I mean, before I started this business, I knew only about, you know, beer as a connoisseur, as a drinker of it, really. I wasn't by any means a connoisseur, but learning about the hops and the hop profiles, and, you know, it's almost more diverse than wine in terms of varietals and the kind of different flavor profiles you get out of it, and the different temperature of which you're, you know, the process going through your beer, the different times of the pick, and the different strains. Yeah, it's the hops are amazing, and actually on their own contain lots of really beneficial compounds as well, so that's a good combination.
Well, I think, yeah, I mean, across the board of alcohol-free beer, there's so many benefits, and I think even alcoholic beer has benefits, but it's that alcohol that counteracts them. So, you know, I mean, without kind of the added additional elements from the mushrooms, you got like a relatively healthy drink anyway. That has different qualities, but then it's just getting even more of those, like, you know, these immune boosting qualities as well. And once again, sort of a great tasting beer.
Amazing.
I saw Zuma, I think Zuma Juice comment said the Limeanes IPA was a favourite.
I did.
That's the one I haven't got in front of me. I mean, it's probably
I've got that, so I'll do the tasting for that one. Yeah, the IPA, again, lion's mane is a fascinating mushroom, but I think the IPA, people love an IPA. Over the past few years, you know, craft beer drinkers have kind of gravitated towards IPAs and even APAs. And I think for me, on the launching 3 products, they needed to be really well-loved, recognizable craft beers, or, you know, beers with the lager. And I think, the Lion's Mane IPAs had a really good response. I also had someone buy it, didn't realize it had mushrooms in it. They just thought Lion's Mane was like a cool name for the IPA. They didn't actually realize it was a mushroom.
Yeah, so it's a lot of people hopefully be opening them up today because their boxes landed today with the cans, the Lion's Mane in. So
amazing. Yeah, always.
The can will be on fire over the next week.
Yeah, always great to get some feedback from people. And I think it's interesting launching with 3 because you get like the camps of the people that, you know, like it. And we had a lot of orders through our website when we first launched that were, you know, getting the mixed cases, and now I'm seeing names pop up, but they're ordering, you know, specific ones. And I find like people are now starting to find their favorites, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So IPA. Yeah. Should we try the IPA? I mean, I presume you've tasted it once upon a time.
Yeah. I tried it. I'm trying to think. So when did we first have the cans in? So probably
at the start of the year.
Yeah, so it's probably been probably a couple of months since I last tried it. I mean, that's the issue we sometimes have is when we've got so many new ones, we get so many samples, is we forget to go back. And that we try and do it a couple lunchtimes a week. The
nice.
Guys down there, we go back and we revisit some of the drinks that we haven't tried just because we've got so many new ones. But it's really good to go back. And I remember like last summer, a few of the beers, and we were going, "Oh, this is so good. How have I forgotten about this?" And yeah, so
lunchtime beers.
Yeah, it shows you're an established
lunchtime beers.
beer brand when we've got so used to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So IPA, we've got a nice head on this one as well. So we've got a nice amber color, quite a classic IPA. So we're using Cascade and Challenger hops in there. And we've got a nice, it's got an earthy, almost apricot-y flavor. Sorry, scent, like on the nose when you smell it. And then when you taste it, it's got light carbonation. I'd say out of the three, this is the least carbonated. I don't really like a really overly carbonated IPA. It's not really supposed to be carbonated that much. So it's nice to have one that is a bit less on that scale. It's got that bitterness, but it's got a real rounded depth to it. So it feels sessionable, but you know you're drinking it. You're getting those flavor profiles coming through. So I think IPA might be my favorite as well.
At the moment, yeah.
At the moment, yeah.
If anyone's watching who has got any of them at home, then feel free to crack them open and let us know what what flavours they're getting. Because everyone's palate's obviously a little bit different and pick up on different nuances in the drinks and things like that. So it'd be great to see what everyone else thinks. But
yeah, drop some comments in, send us a DM. Yeah, it's always interesting, and it depends, different types of day, different types of occasions. That's again great about NA beer. Like lunchtime beers, you can do after run beers. I was doing some sampling of a new batch we've had in this morning. I was drinking beer at 10 a.m. I was like, great, why not?
Well, yeah, why not? Why not? Indeed, and particularly when it's got like health benefits as well. And and I think like even like some of the Olympic teams and football teams, they've gone to alcohol-free beer because it's isotonic and it's better than some of the sugary energy drinks. I mean, at times you need those sugary boosts, but for times when you don't, then beer's a great option for it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Not drinking ninja, going to order. Yes, thanks, my friend. Order. Let us know which ones that you like the best.
Yeah, yeah.
I know. I found it crazy that for so long sports events were sponsored by alcohol, and McDonald's and Coca-Cola and all these products that are really not good for you and have nothing to do with health or athletic performance. So there's a great opportunity for alcohol-free brands to get onto sponsorship and to kind of get into different fields where actually the drinks are giving a benefit to the people that are drinking them. So that's pretty cool to see as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I guess it's been a bit of a journey for you and Fungtn, because, like you said, it's not been a very long one, but you had kind of the initial launch. We had these really funky bottles. I know you've still got some of the bottles, but we've got the cans here today. Are you going to grab a bottle now? Yeah,
got a bottle. Yeah, I love the bottles. They were like my little. When I was deciding, the branding and how I wanted it to look, I saw this bottle. I was going to like my bottle manufacturer website, and I was like, that's amazing. I'd only seen it in like Duval and a few European beers, and I hadn't really seen it much, and I thought, that's amazing, I'm going to get it, nice brand differentiation. And then I went to brew my beer, and I was like, I couldn't find someone who could fill the bottles, because they need like an extra little sensor on it, which was mad. And yeah, it was just it turned out there's only a few brewers in the country that can seem to use this bottle, but yeah, we got there in the end.
Nothing like a good challenge. And so
exactly.
you've got a stout planned then. Is there any other plans that you're able to talk about, or any other ideas or anything?
Yeah, so next up is going to be a stout. I think we had a lot of feedback from customers and from people in general that they wanted to have a stout on the range, and to me, I think stout might have felt a bit extreme to launch with a stout because it is a bit of a Marmite, but I think now we're kind of getting a bit more established that people are really getting into that. So yeah, I'm not going to say what mushroom we're going to be using yet, but hopefully in the next couple of months we'll be launching. I mean, I'd love to do a nitro stout. That comes with quite a lot of complications, so if I can get the NPD right for that and get the technology, yeah, having a nitro stout would be super cool. But if not, we'll just create a really, really great regular stout.
You need to have a conversation with Mash Gang about
those guys are like mad scientists. Like, I don't know how they have the time to make all these beers. They're amazing, really cool. I mean, they are just like a perfect example of what you can do in the NA space, and just like basically anything goes. And I love that. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and there you go. Mushroom saison's just been suggested to something else for the development time.
Ooh, yes, I like that. I like that. There's about 15 kind of quite well-known, accessible mushrooms that we could use to go into the beers. So there's quite a lot left. I'd love to do a cider as well. I think that would be really cool. There's a few really good NA ciders coming out, but not many. So I think there's definitely market for some more craft ciders coming on as well.
Absolutely, yeah. It's kind of music to my ears, that. So I'm not sure if you're aware, but we collaborated and made a cider last summer, and the reason for that was because we wanted to boost the space in say, look, you can go out and make a cider, and we need more people to do it. And we said at the start of the year we need 10 to 12 more alcohol-free ciders on the website, and we've heard rumblings of a few more coming, but it's still not enough. So the fact that you're thinking of bringing out a cider, particularly with a unique spin on it, that would be really exciting. And yeah, if you want any help with getting that sorted, then we've got a few contacts as well. So.
Amazing. We'll be talking about that. Yeah, I love cider. I think it's great. And, it's one of those things that drinking pints of cider in the sun on a warm, sunny day is great for about the first pint and a half. And then you're really pissed, and it's, you're in a beer garden, and it's like, it's a nightmare. And the next day is horrible. There's so much sugar in it and so much alcohol. So if you can find a really great alcohol-free cider that enables you to just sit in the sun and just drink cider all day, that's the dream.
I think you need to get a mushroom cider then made ready for Glastonbury next year, because people go nuts for a mushroom cider at Glastonbury.
Definitely, yeah. Summer next year is going to be the one where we're going to get a cider out for sure. Yeah, we might introduce some slightly bigger cans as well. So yeah, watch this space.
No, that all sounds really exciting. Yeah, no. If anyone's got any other questions, then feel free to kind of drop in the message there, or if you've got any other questions to think of afterwards, then you can, DM either Zoe or me, and we'll do our best to answer them. But yeah, give these beers a try, guys. We'll have the IPA back in stock later in the week, but we've got the Risha, Citra, and the Lager here as well, and they're great beers. And thank you for producing them, Zoe.
That's okay. I wanted to do something different, and I think when I was speaking to lots of people, they thought I was a bit mad. From why on earth would I want to put mushrooms into a beer? And it was there's some interesting education around what we're doing, but I think first and foremost, people just got to remember it doesn't taste like mushrooms. So I think once you kind of get through and think, all right, I'm not going to drink, a portobello mushroom beer, I'll be okay. And I think once people get around it, first and foremost, we've made, I hope, really great craft beers. Secondly, they've got these really cool qualities that come from these amazing and super exciting mushrooms. And so hopefully that's going to help kind of educate more people about mushrooms, get more people drinking alcohol-free beers. I'm realizing that you don't have to have alcohol to make a great social occasion. And I think this is what's really exciting, is that we've gone from a world where alcohol had to frame all the social things that we did. And it was very much like you felt and you were told that you missed out if you didn't drink alcohol. But it is so exciting to see so many amazing brands coming up now that are producing really great adult occasion, amazing drinks, and meaning that people don't have to compromise now. You can go out and have a pint, you can go out and have some beers, you can do all the things you did before. Now you can drive home, now you can get up at 7 o'clock the next day for a meeting. So yeah, it's a really exciting time for NA, not just in the UK, like all over the world. I'm getting messages every day: when are you coming to America, when are you coming to Canada, when you're coming to Australia. So we're working on it. We're definitely working on it. We're hopefully going to be launching in the US by September this year, which is super exciting. Yeah, and then Canada, I hope not too shortly afterwards. I think there's a huge thirst for NA in the States, and it's it's a really exciting market. Obviously, their thirst is pretty thirsty. It's quite a big market. So, yeah, it's exciting to see these little pockets of NA popping up all over the world, and it's similar types of consumer. Mindful consumers, people that don't want to sacrifice. They want flavor. They still want to go out. They still want to have fun. They just, don't necessarily want that to always come with a hangover. So, yeah, it really is a global movement, and it's really super cool that we're all a part of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There is a real change in trend. Funny enough, a friend of mine messaged today, And so I used to play hockey with. So back in the day, we've had quite a few alcoholic drinks. And he walked into a bar in Bristol and asked the landlord for an alcohol-free beer, and he literally got laughed out the pub. So, like,
wow,
I mean,
yeah,
to me, the fact that he came and said, "Go and sort this out, Tom," it just shows the movement that is happening, and people want those options, and you should be able to walk into a pub and have an alcohol-free beer or an alcoholic one if that's what you want. So, yeah, and I think the great thing with mushroom beers is that you can be the fun guy now as well.
You can never drink too much. I know, it's awful. I have to keep stopping myself cracking mushroom puns.
Yeah, that does sound very good. Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you for your time tonight, Zoe. That's been really great.
It's been a pleasure.
Beers, and look forward to all the future developments.
No worries. We'll watch this space. You guys will always be the first to know what we've got going on.
And that's brilliant. No, we've really enjoyed having the beers and look forward to trying all the new ones. And as soon as that IPA lands back with us this week, I'll be cracking one open.
Amazing. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.